Hey, what's up, guys? So, this is the first trial of, I believe it's week 6 for season 7. And I'm getting pretty close to M1. So, I think there's a pretty good chance to get in there going 2-1. Of course, I'd like to go 3-0, but hopefully a solid 2-1 will get me there. And I don't know how to pronounce my opponent's name, but let's take a look at the ranking here. So we'll just go by his alliance name, which is Pigmy, and he's 85 mil, 3.4 mil STP, and I'm 92 mil, 3.4 mil STP. So we're pretty evenly matched, so this would be a really good trial here. So this is what I'm running on defense. As you guys can see, I got Panda Pool and Deadpool in there, and so hopefully that room will confuse them a bit. My Spider Society is getting a little bit stronger, so they're looking a little better in room 2. I decided to try Black Order with Quicksilver in 3. Doolin was running that for a couple weeks, had some success, so I'm hoping to throw some guys off with that in there. And so this is somewhat of an experiment. I got 3 villains in here with Dorm, Archangel, and Morgan, with basically the 2 from Out of Time that seem to last the longest. Cap America and Cap Carter. And then I'm going to try Extreme in 5. I'm not sure what the counters will be for this. According to the counter sheet, there's only really one counter that's been used, so we'll see what he comes up with here. And Infinity Watch in 6. And so for his defense, he's got some pretty well-built teams. His Infinity Watch is kind of small, so that helps me with planning my attacks, because this is all about efficiency. So even though both of our defenses are pretty much one-shottable if there's no mistakes made, it comes down to who has the highest efficiency. So in room 1, I'm going to go on with Cabal, Vulture, and Kang. And I was thinking about Titania. I'm pretty sure that'll work just fine, but I think that having the Vulture in there could be a big deal. He's got Dorm, so I want to make sure I get him out of there as fast as possible. And I like the idea of Vulture with Cabal. His ultimates are just extremely powerful. And so he's got Spider Society in 2 as well. Now his placement is a little different, Peter being in the middle, because that's who I'm going to go after. And so we'll see how that works out, because I'll probably target Peter. And he's got Penny kind of on the outside, protecting her with New War in a sense. So I've heard people saying to protect Penny, and I've heard people saying protect Pav, and I would think Pav because he's the smallest on the team. But we'll see how that works out. He's got a really strong Gwen in here, so that could be a problem. This Unlimited with Phoenix can't be underestimated. And so I'm going to go into that room with Secret Defenders and Echo, because it's just such a punch down for me. And so with room 4, I'm going to do New Warriors. Now the question is, am I going to go into New Warriors with APOC or Skrull? And which way do I go in the Spider Society, with Hive Mind Skrull or Hive Mind APOC? So that's what I've been debating on this one. I'll do Pegasus in 5, and we're going to do Superior 6 in 6. So let's go into room 1 and try to do this with Cabal, because I think this is going to be the hardest one. So I still like the idea of Vulture being on the left when I go in with this team. And right off the bat, you see the whole team has vulnerables. So it's just about who to target. And I took some time to think about it, because I really wasn't sure who I wanted to target first. And I decided on Dorm, the whole thing, delete Dorm as soon as possible. And then with the special, I was trying to think, well, do I hit Dorm, or do I want to go in and do the basic on Forge? Because once again, it's like, well, you're trying to go for efficiency here, so which way it would be better? And I decided to go and hit Forge. And so Forge gets killed. I wasn't expecting that, so I was glad to see that. He revives, and then now I think the rest of the match is just kind of like push buttons. So I think for safety, I'm going to go into here with Scroll. On second thought, we're going to do APOC. So when I first go in, I'm undecided because of his placement order where to hit. And I'm like, well, go for Quicksilver. Always Quicksilver. And so I go with Quicksilver. And after that, it's like, well, what do I want to hit again? I said, well, go for Quicksilver. And so just like kind of all in on Quicksilver since he was right next to Thanos. And I said, well, if I can get some damage in before Cole starts to taunt, then I will be in good shape. Now, I was a little worried when Thanos healed up, but the ult of my Apocalypse in Room 4 was just devastating for them. So that was some incredible efficiency on that room. I was not expecting to go that well. Let's hit here. We'll go in with Hive Mind and Scroll. That should go smoothly. So after seeing the battle of my Scroll going into Spider Society versus his efficiency was much better. And I don't know that it's a huge difference in how I played it per se. I think it's because of his placement order. And so that's what I was taking a look at in the aftermath of things, because it's a 5-point difference. And so I'm thinking that this placement order with Peter in the middle could be valuable. And then Noir kind of being the stealth tune between, the team and then Penny. So I'm going to try that, because as you guys can see, this battle is taking a little bit longer than I think most of us would like if we're going for efficiency. I don't think it was ever in doubt, but at the end of the day, and maybe perhaps I didn't need Venom in there. Venom is my strongest, that's why he's in there. And that could be why this team is slower. So that's something I look at as well when I'm making comparisons. But at the moment, I think what I'm going to do is just mimic his placement order and see how that goes, and the rest of this week. That's pretty amazing how tanky Penny can be at 5 red. That she could just last the way she did. So now we're going to try our Secret Defenders with Echo. This should go well. I have a G18 Echo. And I like the placement order. So the thought process here is be efficient. And I was thinking, well, who do I want to hit first with this ult? And I said, yeah, go Rogue. And so when I went Rogue, it's like, well, Gambit is going to be the next problem. So let's hit Gambit and stun him. And all is going well. Now, during the course of this battle, it looks like I'm going to finish very efficiently. The focus I shifted to Phoenix because, after the Rogue taunt, of course, is because I didn't want her to die and then come back and get the health steal. The problem is now it's between doing that and then Gambit is no longer stunned. And so Gambit is pinging, and he's pinging Echo. And I didn't actually notice that until Echo, she dies. And that could have been a deciding factor in a closer match when it's, a battle for efficiency. So that might have hurt a little bit. Get my Echo sliced up like that. So this is the basic here when you're looking at Superior 6 going against Secret Defenders, even though it's just Secret Defenders with Rogue. My biggest concern going in was, who do I want to hit first? Would that be Robbie or would that be Black Cat? And since she had the charges, I said, well, let me just hit Black Cat. Not sure if that made a whole lot of difference, but it put a vulnerable on her. And so I think that led into this being, somewhat more efficient than had I just gone for Robbie. But for the most part, it's going to play out like it normally does. Here, I was undecided on whether I wanted to go ahead and use the ultimate and kill Black Cat possibly, or use a special. And so it worked out because she had those vulnerables on her to use the special. And that leads into the rest of the team being, extremely low and able to just pick off, one turn at a time after that for each tune. So going into Infinity Watch with Pegasus is a little bit unfamiliar for me, but you can see here this is 900k punch down. So I think it should go pretty well. Now this is still a very long battle. My primary focus starting it off is just to go in with the basics from 2 or 3 of the tunes. And then as I got to Rescue's move, it was like, well, I couldn't remember what to do next. And I was like, just go with the ult, because there was a particular amount of damage done to my team. And it's like, just get the ult in so you can clear this up and then go forward. And after that, I tried to just either basic or ultimate as much as I could to keep the energy flowing, and then get the results from the ultimate that I could. But it's a long battle, so I'm going to just let it play from here on 4x speed. So 51.94, hadn't hit a score like that in a while. Yep, this efficiency was decent, well, pretty good. 83.67, 83.61, not what I'd hoped for, but not terrible. 83.64, that's pretty good. 83.72, much better than I expected. That really helped me there. 83.61, that's decent. Okay, going in on Infinity Watch. And 83.69, that was really a good score. So the final score is in. I won by a decent amount here. And I just want to show you guys the attacks first, and then we'll go through the replays, because my opponent was pretty efficient all the way until his last attack. So room 1 was decently efficient for the most part, considering he went in with Tangle Web 2 and Big Time. On room 2, he used probably the most efficient counter, Hive Mind Scroll. And here is what I was hoping he would do, is use the Masters of Evil. I'm not quite sure how Red Hulk helped, but we'll take a look. And to my surprise, this is the room he used Cabal on. Here he used Superior 6, this is where I thought he'd use Cabal, but either way I think the results would have been pretty similar. And this is where I think he went for the for sure win. I just think that the turn bonus for 13 hurt him. I'm not sure if he would have been able to do much better than that, but I would think that would have been his goal, would have been to try to do better than that. And so perhaps the idea of using APOC in room 1 is the choice that the players will have to make, because his efficiency was low in room 6 because he had no APOC to use here. So let's take a look at this battle here. So this is one of the rooms I thought they used Tangle Web on. We can see Big Time and 99 going in on Black Knight and him getting stripped. The idea is just that he was to retaliate, and the hope was to get drained, but I'm not seeing any drain, so it's just retaliating. So that was a mistake on my part to think that he would get drained there. And my team was dismantled pretty easily for the most part. So because he had Nova and he was able to stun the Black Knight, and as a result, I think this is the one room that I probably will change. For the most part, I think the other rooms may stay the same going into today's battle. We've seen this one quite enough, and he had great efficiency, so but we're going to skip this one on the replay. And here, we're going to play this because I'm interested to see the damage that was put in on Titania and Kang. And I think that his efficiency would have been a lot better had there not been that damage. So it'll be good to see what happened here. So he goes right in on Thanos. Okay, then he goes, he Billy blocks. Okay, he blocks Quicksilver, but it didn't matter. Well, he did. He killed him really quickly. Okay, so it's just really Black Order that hangs around and I guess drags his efficiency down. But the play would have been the play I would have done too, is to go for Quicksilver. So this is working out. They're not the whole reason Blackwater Quicksilver is here is to pull Masters of Evil. So they did their job. They're just lasting a lot longer than I thought they would in room 3. So I'm not sure Red Hulk was the better play over Ultron in this particular case. But then again, he may not have even built up his Ultron at all. So Red Hulk wasn't a terrible choice. And he used Cabal here, 8365. Let's just see what happens here. Okay, so he goes in on he goes in on Morgan, and he puts in quite a bit of damage on her. Alright, so Angel had a chance to go, and he did speed them up. Okay, yeah, so this is not a bad team to run, it appears, because they were able to get their abilities off. Now, it could be because of his choice with Cabal and Emma, going with Emma and Doom, because Doom is not really doing anything for this team. So I'll try this team one more time. 8365 is a bit on the high side. This is all the Cabal show, so Cabal and Emma. And if he were to have gone with a fast damage dealer instead of Doom, this could have been even worse with the score. But we'll see how. We'll just give it another day. And so he used Superior 6 here on the Extreme in room 5. But let's just take a look. This is 8362 on how this turned out. Okay, so for the most part, I think that's still mission accomplished, because Extreme X-Men are pulling Superior 6, I think, in most cases. And so here is room 6, and I'm just interested to see how this plays out, because I'm guessing he thought his Cosmic Ghost Rider would make this the best counter. Yeah, this just already looks like it's going to be a long fight. Okay, so as you can see, the change I'm going to make is I'm going to put Rogue in here. Maybe that'll make it slightly harder, give me an extra couple points, because 2 or 3 more points on defense can really matter, especially if a guy goes into room 6 and gets much better efficiency. But for the most part, this score was where I needed to be, under a 5180, so that helps. I'd like to see it be under 5170, but in today's times, by it being under 5180 gives me a chance to get a win. Okay, so that's it for this one, guys. Chat later.